All right, Raging Echoes leagues. Let's talk some leagues, bro. Holy, it's been a while. It's been a while. I think it's been what? When was the last time I did a leagues video? It must have been the first Trailblazer. I think was the last time I actually recorded a league. So it is good to be doing this again. But pretty much, guys, today I just wanted to go over kind of the choices I'm making as far as relics go, all the regions, stuff like that. Some of the early thoughts going in to leagues before we get into it tomorrow. Um, and I kind of just wanted to go over my game plan for day one and kind of just talk to you guys about it, see what you guys are doing as far as your regions and relics too. Kind of have a little discussion down below. That would be really cool to see. Um, but yeah, pretty much I'm just going to go over the relics I'm choosing, my initial thoughts, and we'll go from there. So, tier one, we have the skilling relics. We got Power Miner, Lumberjack, and Animal Wrangler. So, right away, I'm going to be going with Animal Wrangler on this one. There's a lot of reasons for this, but the main one is because, one, I love to AFK stuff. If you all know me, I love to AFK stuff, and fishing and cooking are going to be invaluable. I'm going to be using food everywhere, so being able to fish karambwans and cook them automatically and have that as food later on is going to be really cool. That's also 25 minutes of AFK. So if you're an AFK lover like me, as far as fishing and cooking goes, you're going to be great. Also, a little something I want to touch on Power Miner. I don't really need a mining relic as far as my plan goes because I'm going to be star mining the entire way to 99. Like I said, I love the AFK stuff, so I'm just going to be scouting stars or just going in the star mining CC, and we're just going to be doing mining that way. So I'm not really worried about mining in the least bit. As far as woodcutting is pretty naturally AFK anyways. I won't have access to redwoods, unfortunately, because Zaya is not going to be one of the regions I'm choosing. But regardless, it's going to be, pretty AFK either way. So, not only that, but Animal Wrangler, you also get the Hunter buff. So box traps are going to cast chance faster. I'm just going to probably be doing that at the Isle of Souls. And that's just going to be another skill that I get easier with that. So, yeah, in my mind, it makes the most sense for me being an AFK lover. And it's just basically free food and cooking at the same time. So, yeah, tier 1 was pretty easy for me. As far as tier 2 goes, this was probably the first decision I kind of went through that was kind of a tricky one. So last year I went with Trickster. If you all played the last league, Trickster was one of my favorite relics from last year. The Sage's Boots was so nice. You just run around, you get agility XP while you do other stuff, and it also has the thieving built-in buffs. I'm going to be doing that again this year with Dodgy Deals. Dodgy Deals is going to be really helpful because before I go any further, my regions are going to be Terrawan, Fremennik, and Mauritania. I'm not for sure if it's going to be in that order. Mauritania will probably be the third one, and Fremennik will probably be the first one, just because I feel like Terran 1 is going to be a really hard area to get points in, especially early on. So I'm probably going to be starting off on Fremennik, but I am going to be basically a full melee build. I've always enjoyed doing melee builds on leagues, and that's probably going to be what we do with this stuff. And we'll go into combat masteries a bit later as far as those go, but those are probably the regions I'm going to choose. Like I said, not 100% on the order, but that's probably what it'll be: Fremennik, tier 1, and then Mauritania, if I had to guess. But Dodgy Deals is going to be great because, first of all, just the automatic 100% pickpocketing and re-pickpocketing. This time with stalls, that's going to be interesting. Last year, Trickster, you couldn't do that with stalls. It was just pickpocketing, so that's going to be interesting to try out. But I'm very, very excited to do this because it's free blood shards. If you all did melee in Mauritania last year with Trickster, you'll remember that getting blood shards with Trickster was one of the best things. You just had unlimited blood shards basically, and then you would go into TOB and you'd have to worry about it. You don't have to ever worry about killing vampires. You just have them from thieving. So that's really good. Definitely gonna be going Dodgy Deals. Corner Cutter, as much as I like to do agility while I'm AFKing stuff, it's just too much to pass up on the other stuff. Plus, with Mauritania, we're going to have access to Hallowed Sepulchre anyways, and a lot of points usually comes from Sepulchre, so there's really no point for me to do Corner Cutter if I plan on doing a lot of Sepulchre anyways. Friendly Forager was the reason that this decision was hard for me. Going back to the whole AFK thing, I could combo that with my fishing and cooking that I'm going to be doing so much of, with star mining as well, and we would be getting herbs along the way. However, the reason I decided that Dodgy Deals was going to be the way I go anyway was because I'm going to be getting so much herbs through Theater of Blood later on that it really won't be necessary, I don't think. I'm going to be doing so much raids anyways, and there's going to be a lot of seeds, a lot of herbs from there, so not really necessary. As nice as it would be, Dodgy Deals is probably going to be the way we go with that one. Alright, moving on to tier 3. This one's easy. It's going to be straight Clue Compass. The other two are just not necessary. I'm very excited to use the Clue Compass synergy with Treasure Arbiter. We'll go into that a bit later. But I used the Treasure Clue last year. I forget what it was called, but there was a lot of points in the Clue Scrolls. I'm not sure how much points we're going to have this year with this league as far as Clue Scrolls are concerned. But I'm very excited to see the synergy with Clue Compass and Treasure Arbiter. I cannot wait. Especially because if I'm waiting to do all the star mining and like AFK, a lot of AFK stuff later on with like clue geos and all that adding up from Treasure Arbiter, doing all those clues just you accumulate with Clue Compass is going to be so fun. I'm actually really excited to try that out. So that's an easy one as far as tier 3 goes. Clue Compass all the way. Now tier 4 is a very hard decision for me because Reloaded initially, that was probably going to be the one I went because I was like, ooh, I can just go back and pick Friendly Forager and just have the AFK herbs, which is really nice. But then I have to remember that Golden God has so much with it. You essentially have free 99 magic, and you get Prayer. Honestly, if the Prayer wasn't part of this, I probably wouldn't pick it, but that's just going to be a nice, easy 99 prayer too. And I'm going to be maxing on this account. I usually always have a goal to max on these leagues just because it's a fun little goal to do. Not necessarily 50 mil in each skill. I will obviously do 50 mil in some of them, like thieving is going to be an easy one. But maxing is definitely for sure, and that's going to make prayer and magic basically free. Just because the unlimited money with that 20k being a Dragon Bones. Now, I'm not sure if that means 20,000 coins is equivalent to one Dragon Bone or like an inventory of Dragon Bones. I'm not really sure what they mean by that. They didn't really go into that much detail. I'm assuming it's 20k per bone, which if it is, fair enough. But that's going to be really nice to have, especially the fact that you can do actions in Alk while you're doing other stuff. So like I can just be fishing, star mining, whatever, just be alking the whole time, making money and just getting magic XP. It's going to be really nice. So 50 mil magic is going to be easy. So Golden God is probably what I'm going to go with. I'm 95% certain of that going that way. So tier 5. Went into this a bit earlier with Clue Compass. Treasure Arbiter is all the way. I've never enjoyed being a production master type of person. Like I said, I'm very AFK oriented. I do play active, but I also play a lot of AFK as well. So when I can get my AFK time, I prefer to do it. I don't like to have everything processed at once with production master. As efficient as it is, I like my AFK time. So it's just, it kind of hurts me doing that because it's just like my AFK time isn't there. Slayer Master was the reason that this was a hard decision because of Mauritania. I will have access to a Black Mask and Slayer Helmet and all that good stuff. So that was a tough decision because this relic is really, really good. But I've never been one to play League for like super efficient, like min-maxing, all that type of stuff. I want to have fun. So Treasure Arbiter, I really am excited to see the synergy that has with Clue Compass and just doing all of these clues that I have banked from star mining and AFKing, fishing, all that good stuff. It's going to be really fun to see just how much clues I can do, you know, with those two relics combined. So easy Treasure Arbiter. As much as I would love to do Slayer Master, we'll just get 99 and probably just stop as far as Slayer goes. Tier 6 is the only one that I haven't decided on fully yet. Total Recall is the one that I've always done in the past, ever since the first Trailblazer League. Total Recall has just been invaluable. The reason I'm kind of thinking against it this year, though, is because simply I don't think I'm going to need it as much. Like, before, I would always choose Asgarnia, because Total Recall was so invaluable to have for the God of War's dungeon bosses, just because you don't have to get kill count again and again. You just teleport back, keep killing the boss until you're done. And it really made the whole God of War's dungeon grind, if you picked Asgarnia, like, really just a cakewalk, honestly. So if you're picking Asgarnia as your region, and you're doing a lot of God Wars, I could see you wanting to do that. But the thing is, Banker's Note, I didn't pick that last year, and I don't necessarily say I regretted it, but I could just see how it would be really nice. Like, just being able to go into TOB and not have to worry about, like, ever running out of food. You just have unlimited food, or, like, little things like, maybe, like, Fasani's Nightmare. You just have unlimited supplies, basically. You don't have to worry about ever banking, so that kind of saves. You don't really need Total Recall if you can stay somewhere forever, so that is kind of the reason I'm thinking more towards Banker's Note. But we'll have to see. That's the one I'm not 100% on yet. All right, moving on to tier 7. This one is interesting because as nice as Pocket Kingdom sounds, at this point in the game, as far as tier like 7, I'm probably going to have a lot of this stuff done anyway as far as skills go. And like I said, I talked earlier, like, as much as this would be nice to have all these resources coming in all the time. I'm going to be doing so much TOB and so much raids that it's going to be adding up herbs and seeds anyways from that. So I really don't think it's going to be necessary, especially at this point in the game. Overgrown, as far as I can tell, it's kind of like a nerfed version of the farming relic from last year. That one I picked last year just because instantly growing crops sounded so cool and I wanted to try it out, and it was cool. I gotta say I had fun with it. But because I'm not picking Kandrin, I'm really think I'm gonna end up going Grimoire because I want access to Piety and I want to be as really overpowered as I possibly can with melee. I just want to see what kind of numbers we can hit. So I think that's just going to be an easy Grimoire for me as far as that goes. So yeah, we'll have Piety that way. It's going to be nice. Finally, the last relic at tier 8. This one's tough for me. A lot of people, I don't really think you can go wrong either way you choose this. They all have their insane benefits to them. However, I'm between Last Stand and Guardian mostly. I picked Guardian last year because it was just insanely fun. It was also very fun keeping on re-rolling the Guardian until you got the rare one. That was cool. Guardian is going to be useful any content you do. Even they specified this year that in the Gauntlet, Guardian will be usable, so that's going to be interesting. It's going to be a toss-up, though, between Last Stand and Guardian for me, because there's a lot of fun stuff that you could do with Last Stand. For those of you that don't know, Last Stand, it basically, if you hit 0 HP and you would have died, your stats just jump to 255 and rapidly decrease. So you're hitting some insane numbers in that time. And there's also going to be an invulnerability period for 16 ticks. So the hits and damage you can do, especially in things like raids or like even like Hunlif, Corrupted Gauntlet, we'll have to see. That'll be interesting. I'm very inclined to try Last Stand just because of the numbers I could hit and just because of how much it would speed some things up like raids and, you know, Gauntlet and other bosses and stuff like that. But I'll have to see because Guardian is also very reliable. No matter what you're doing, Guardian is going to help. It doesn't matter. It has any attack style and it's going to be useful. So that's going to be another toss-up for me. I'm probably leaning a little more towards Last Stand right now. But as far as my relics go, that's kind of what I'm going. Like I said, it's going to be Fremenic, Tirwin, and Mauritania. So it's going to be very interesting, very fun. I'm going to be uploading probably for the first week every day just to get progress videos out for you all. As far as your all's regions and relics, go ahead and tell me down below what you all are thinking as far as your build's going. As far as combat masteries, I'm probably going to go straight to 6 because straight for the melee. I'm going to go all the way 6 just because I want to see, like I said, how powerful we can make melee build this year, especially with having the scythe. It's going to be so fun having those like extra buffs. As far as the other 4, because we're allotted 10, I'm going to probably go with range if I had to guess. Not 100%. We'll have to see. But because we'll have access to Hunlif and the Bofa, I think that'll probably be the smart decision, is put the other 4 into range and just leave Mage alone. We'll have to see. But as far as my league's plans, that's pretty much it. I'm not planning on following any specific guide yet. Maybe I'll look into doing that just for the early game, just to see how smooth we can make it. But most of this is just going to be like us just kind of freelancing it, just seeing how we go, just having fun along the way. So I hope you all enjoyed. This is just kind of my initial thoughts before tomorrow. Tell me down below what your all's builds are looking like, and if you're hyped for leagues just like I am. So I will see you all tomorrow night. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you then.